Assalamualaikum and good morning to Dr. Sharida. Today we are going to present our project on Family Financial Stories, Intergenerational Insights. To begin our presentation, I will briefly explain the overview of our project. So our project focuses on personal financial management, particularly on how individuals manage their income, expenses, savings, investments, and financial challenges. So for this project, we conducted personal interviews with our own family members to understand their real-life financial experiences. We then analyzed their financial habits, the challenges they face, and the lessons they learned throughout their financial journey. Overall, the purpose of this project is to gain a better understanding on how individuals manage their finances and make financial decisions at different stages of their lives. So with that, let's move on to the next part of our presentation.
The chosen topic of our project is Family Financial Stories, Intergenerational Insight, where each member is asked to interview two of their family members about their financial experience. The interview focuses on four sections, which are their background, budgeting and how they manage their daily money, their saving and investment strategies, their mindset, challenges they face in financial management, and what the lesson they had learned from those experiences. Based on data we have collected, the younger generation right now mostly use modern ways to track their expenses and manage their money using applications such as Money Manager, My Bank to You, and eWallet. They found that it was easier because the applications shows their transaction history and some provide graphs that show their cash flow. Compared to older generations, some of them are up to date following modern ways, but most of them still depends on traditional way, which jot down every transaction they make in one specific book. Even though there are differences with how they manage their money between generations, it can be seen that the money management is essential for achieving long-term financial well-being.
I will briefly explain the objective of our project, which focuses on financial habits across different generations. First, our objective is to examine and compare how different generations manage their finance, especially in terms of budgeting, saving, spending, investment, and financial planning. Second, we aim to identify the factors that influence financial decisions across generations. These include income, family responsibility, economic condition, financial knowledge, and the development of technology. Third, we want to analyze the similarities and differences in financial priorities between generations and understand how these priorities have changed over time. Fourth, our project aims to evaluate the financial strategy used by different generations to overcome financial challenge, prepare for emergency, and achieve their long-term financial goals. Fifth, we hope to identify useful financial lessons and best practice from older generation that can be applied by younger generation to improve their personal financial management. Finally, this project aims to develop student financial awareness and critical thinking skill by connecting real-life family financial experience with the financial management concept that we have learned in FIN533.
And now, let's move to the outcome of the report. From the data gathered from the interview, there are 6 outcomes that need to be focused on. First is financial tools and tracking. Older generations rely on traditional tools like notebooks and bank books, while younger generations prefer modern digital options like Touch and Go and CIMB clicks. Second, financial life stages. In their 20s, they prioritize personal spending, travel, and shopping. After marriage and having children, priorities shift heavily towards essential responsibilities like bills, food, and housing. Third one is risk and investment. There is a clear preference for low-risk government-backed financial options like Tabung Haji and PTPTN. Fourth is saving and emergency planning. Members save money immediately upon receiving their salary rather than saving what is left over. For emergencies, they aim to hold 3 to 6 months of living expenses in dedicated savings accounts. Next is common regrets. Key regrets include not starting savings and investment like ASB, shares, gold, or Tabung Haji at a younger age, and delaying medical insurance purchases until premium become more expensive. Last one is handling financial crisis. During crises like income cuts, scams, or pandemic, members survive by cutting non-essentials, utilizing emergency funds, and generating extra income through side efforts like selling.
There are 5 components that can be highlighted in this reflection. First, we do have different generations have different financial approach. This showed that financial practices vary between generations. They do not necessarily manage money in the same way because their financial habits were shaped by different lifestyles, economic conditions, and personal experience. Second, financial habits influenced by generation and life experience. Older generation tend to emphasize saving, budgeting, and avoiding debt, while the younger generation are more exposed to digital banking, online transactions, and investment platforms due to technological advancement. Third, important for future stability. This highlighted the importance of planning finances for unexpected situations, such as emergencies, economic difficulties, or major life events. Good financial planning helps individuals achieve long-term financial security. Fourth, financial priorities change according to responsibilities. Financial priorities change at different stages of life. Older family members often prioritize household expenses, children's education, emergency savings, and retirement planning. Younger generation may focus more on education, career development, and personal spending. The last one is use of digital financial tools and tracking finances. Platforms such as Maybank, CIMB, and Touch & Go e-wallet are used not only for making payments but also for checking balance, reviewing transaction histories, and monitoring spending. This reflects how technology has made financial tracking more convenient compared with traditional methods such as writing in notebooks or relying memory. Now, for the lessons learned regarding on this interview, first, intergenerational financial knowledge sharing, the combinations of traditional wisdom and modern financial tools. This exchange of knowledge helps family members adapt to changing financial environments while maintaining good financial practices. Second, financial tracking is important. Regularly checking transaction histories and account balances can increase awareness of spending behavior. Digital records allow individuals to identify unnecessary expenses and make better decisions about where their money should be allocated. Third, financial security requires long-term planning. The interviews taught us that financial management should not focus only on immediate spending. Saving, budgeting, monitoring expenses, and preparing for unexpected situations are important for achieving long-term financial stability. Lastly, saving habits are more important than the method used. The effectiveness of saving does not depend entirely on whether a person uses a traditional savings account, fixed deposit, or digital financial platform. The most important factor is consistency and discipline in setting aside money for future needs.
Now, future improvement. By increase the number and diversity of respondents, future work could gather data from a wider range of participants in terms of age, occupation, income, and financial issues. Information collected will be more reflective of practices in money management. Secondly, use more structured interview questions. Some of the respondents give responses of differing levels of details. Future interviews could be designed differently to include more specific questions. This would allow comparisons to be drawn more easily. Thirdly, explore digital financial management further. Many participants reported that they use online banking, electronic wallets, Excel, and budgeting software for tracking their expenditure. Therefore, there may be a chance for the following studies to see how well these tools are used by people to manage their expenses and avoid being impulsive with their spending. Next is provide practical recommendations based on the findings. Rather looking than at simply the experiences of the respondents, future initiative might create some simple financial managing guideline for youngsters focusing on such issues as budgeting, emergency funds, storage, and wise investment. Lastly is include quantitative financial data. In order to enhance the project, respondents can be requested to give the expected proportions or values of their income that they spend on their needs, saving, investments, and desires. This would make the results more visual and easy to analyze, instead of being heavily based on qualitative data.